Taiwan, I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. People in Taiwan's urban areas are buying smaller houses, a local real estate firm has found. In Taipei, 19% of apartments sold last year had just one room. That's up 15% from 2019. But smaller homes are on the rise in other urban centers too, with studio apartments accounting for around 10% of homes sold last year in New Taipei and Taichung. The real estate agency says high prices and less need for room due to fewer children are the main reasons for the downsizing. Taiwanese Hokkien used to be the primary language here in Taiwan, but the language is gradually fading with the rise of Mandarin Chinese. In the U.S., a college student has built her own app to pass down the language and, more importantly, to keep in touch with her grandparents. Joyce Zeng has the story.
A digital tool that translates English to Taiwanese Hokkien, invented by Taiwanese-American engineering student Liao Huang. Born in California, Huang grew up trilingual in English, Mandarin, and Taiwanese Hokkien, commonly known as just Taiwanese. Distinct from Mandarin, Taiwanese is the only language Huang has in common with her grandparents. Now a college student far from home, Huang worries she's losing this tie to her family.
I spoke English as my most native language, while Taiwanese was just spoken with my parents and grandparents. So after not practicing for so long, I realized that I needed to create some way that could help me kind of keep up my Taiwanese language.
Huang tapped into her coding skills and created Bobaway, a program that takes English text, translates it into Chinese, as that's the closest written language to Taiwanese, and finally gives a romanized pronouncer. Though still widely spoken among people in Taiwan, the Taiwanese language has been losing its prevalence. Linguists say this is in part due to Mandarin's significance on both the local and global stage.
If people want to keep Taiwanese alive, they need to make a concerted effort to do so because it's not the language of commerce or power, especially with China's enormous global influence. It's a language spoken more by the older generation than by the younger, which means there's intergenerational language loss as our elders pass on. So it's particularly important that parents and grandparents pass their language down while they still can, especially at home, which is the most important domain for intergenerational language transmission or transfer.
Aside from connecting with home, for Huang, she says fluency in Taiwanese is a big part of her identity. Living outside of Taiwan, she's even more motivated to share her language with others.
Taiwanese has always been a spoken language, and so creating like a written, like a romanization is sort of kind of like westernization a bit. It sort of loses the original tradition, but I do think that romanization also does help with learning a language, especially for foreigners who are trying to learn Taiwanese.
Huang says she has more ideas for her app, melding her coding and linguistic skills to give an accessible digital push to preserve a language that's such a big part of Taiwanese identity. Eason Chen, Eric Tai, and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
A Little League team in the southeastern county of Taitung are using virtual reality to help with their training. Jaime Okan has more.
These Little League players from Taiwan's southeast are training with a modern twist. Their school has brought in virtual reality to boost the team's skills.
The
program these kids are using is the work of Taiwan's Industrial Technology Research Institute. Sensors track statistics and send them to a phone, allowing for easy on-the-spot analysis. These sensors can detect swinging speeds and the angle of pitches, and they help analyze how players can improve.
一方面是教练在训练球员的时候，那个效率可以提升；另外一方面就是，其实上面的一些数据，其实可以让那个观赛的人，他可以看到说，哇，原来这个比赛还有这么多的一些好看的轨迹啦或数字。
School officials say the extra help this system provides will modernize both the game and sports culture in the rural part of Taiwan.
把那个土法炼钢的部分，去掉，让它更有效的向上提升，所以对台湾来讲是一个非常大的帮助。
And they're already seeing results, with the kids beating a visiting team from Japan. The hope now is that this new way of training will keep their winning streak alive. Patrick Chen and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
Traditional performances need to be passed down to survive, but there are very few practitioners of the Hakka lion dance left in Taiwan. Our reporter Sandy Chi meets one of the last old masters.
Not the southern Chinese lion dance you usually see at festivals. This is the traditional Hakka lion dance. This art form is also from China, but here in Taiwan, it's on the verge of disappearing. To keep this tradition alive, Liao Wenjun, one of the lost Hakka masters in northern Taiwan, is doing his best to train new Hakka lion performers of all ages.
67年上来就开馆到现在啦，已经几乎差不多45年的经历了。开馆传授徒弟和舞狮里面啊，45年都没有停过。
Despite decades of dedication to the tradition, for Master Liu, passing on his art is still a challenge. The Hakka lion dance was banned during the Japanese colonial era because it was considered a form of martial art. Performers were forced to train in secret, leading to a drop in the number of practitioners. Today, those who still practice it are mainly from the older generations.
来就认识刘师傅刘师傅就说来这边学舞龙舞狮也不错啊，因为我年纪这么大了，想说学这个也学不会啊，对的，想说好玩啊，真的是好玩，为了身体健康了啊。
玩这个的话，可能就是第一个体力要好，第二个要协调力，第三个还是要体力，再来就耐心。我是当成在玩在跳而已。
There aren't many chances to perform this vanishing art form, so Master Liu's apprentices train for fun, a major feat considering how hard it is.
Many say that the Hakka lion hit is very difficult to perform with. It requires a lot of strength to control, and one can weigh up to 24 kilograms. According to Master Liu, the most challenging part is to be able to hold it up throughout the performance.
To address the weight issue, Master Liu developed smaller, lighter Hakka lion hits, making it easier for both younger and older people to handle. The smaller version can weigh just a few kilograms.
现在的年轻人可能越轻越小越好了，那大致可能拿都拿不动了。
And his innovation has been a big help for his younger students from high schools around Taoyuan in northern Taiwan.
刚好也是客家人，然后对啊，又看到学校这个社团就蛮有兴趣的。
我是石头，然后因为那个平常也不会去接触这个，看那个别人表演才发现其实蛮累的，还挺喜欢的。
Master Liu has been working with schools for over a decade, but only a few started Hakka lion dance clubs, making it challenging for Liu to pass down his skills to the next generation.
我们一个人的力量真的要推广，真的也很难啦我们现在的时候希望落实到学校去啦，能够我们的政府对这个汉族文化可以把那个经费补一点给学校让学校来推这个客家诗有没有我们现在你政府不重视我们这个老师傅来帮你们推啊。 到我们走了以后，真的就会断层掉了，客家诗就没有了。所以我感觉到我的使命就希望客家诗延续下去。
With a profound sense of responsibility for the tradition, Master Liu hopes teaching the Hakka lion dance will ensure future generations also take up the mantle. Kamashu, Klein Wong, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, check out these highlights from the Margaret River Pro Surfing Competition in Western Australia. I'm Leslie Liao, take care, and I'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app.